Hi and welcome to this Blueberry Markets video update with me, John Kibler, head currency analyst. In this video we're going to take a look at the Forex market wrap. We're going to highlight the news that occurred this week as well as some of the charts that we spoke about in the week ahead analysis video. So going over the news, lots of data. The volatility really picked up in the market this week as the US CPI data beat forecast. So you can see here the CPI came in above forecast. We came in at 0.1%, above the previous 0% and beating forecasts at minus 0.1%. Let me just grab a pen actually. We then had the core CPI, which came in at 0.6%, beating 0.3% before. This saw the dollar move higher, basically due to the Federal Reserve having to consider this when looking at their next position on rates, which is looking likely now to be higher. After that, though, we had some decent data out of other areas as well. You can see here Kiwi GDP data came in better than expected and whatnot. But really speaking, the market's attention then turned to the retail sales, which came in below estimates. Apart from the retail sales month-on-month, core retail sales came in below estimates, retail sales came in above, so they kind of counterbalanced themselves here. The one real shocker of the week was pound retail sales. We were actually forecast to be minus 0.5%, came in at minus 1.6%, and that saw the pound US dollar price drop quite significantly, which we'll take a look at in a second. Going on to the euro US dollar then, so you can see the euro US dollar had a bit of a mixed week. What I mean by that is earlier in the week we rallied higher. We rallied towards this point of control on the monthly, this key higher time frame resistance trend line, and then the CPI data came out, which was this candle in here. Rejected those after a brief rejection prior, and we dropped to the downside. We broke back through the monthly value area low, and now we're consolidating between the monthly value area low and a high volume node on the weekly chart. Now we did talk about the potential for price to come and fill this gap that was formed from CPI. We haven't had that yet, but that could still be a thing for price to want to achieve. So I'll be expecting that gap of volume to be filled there. So I would expect to move back to sort of 1.0060 for euro US dollar. Moving on to pound US dollar. So pound hit a 40-year low, dropping to that 1.1350 area or level. So we hit a 40-year low, breaking through the key monthly support, 1.14. We are finding buyers. Whether that will be sustained is a different question. We may still trade to the downside. Price has been lower in the past, but you can see here really negative pound move this week. We rallied up into a high volume node that was on the monthly and the weekly around that 117.13. Retail sale CPI data push price to the downside. Retail sales today push prices into that 40-year low. Dollar yen. So dollar yen featured in our week ahead analysis video because price was at the major 145 and the yen on the strength meter was in the reversal zone. So we were looking for yen strength this week, which has been seen across other currency pairs, but dollar yen has remained within last week's value, and I think that's because both currencies are strong at the moment, so you've got that sort of range play effect. One thing we did highlight this week was the gap from CPI. We talked about price filling that gap, and that's exactly what price has done. Price came back into that CPI level and just stayed within that range, so we could have offered you opportunities at the high and low of those ranges. Finally then, dollar CAD. So we looked at dollar CAD this week. We expected actually, though, maybe we'll see a little bit of a break to the downside because price had just continued to stay within this channel, continued to stay below the 1.3180, which was a point of control on the yearly chart, and we kept failing at these highs. So I was expecting a potential move lower, and that didn't happen in the end. Price has spiked higher. we've broken these highs. A close above this now would suggest more upside to come as the risk sentiment starts to shift a little bit in the markets. So I hope you enjoyed the content this week. If you did, leave this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the YouTube channel to see some more Forex trading content, and I'll speak to you in the next video.